y'all, and welcome back to Romantically Lit, a podcast that features two undercover hopeless romantics feed their soul by dissecting different black romance novels across the diaspora. I am Hannah.
And I'm Odelia.
And today, we conclude our exploration of Bolu Babalola's Honey and Spice novel. If you're tuning in for the first time, hi and welcome. However, before you continue, please listen to our previous episodes on Honey and Spice because in this episode, we are going to be sharing a lot of spoilers. Anywho, like Beyonce said in her hit song Deja Vu, let's go get them.
Alright, guys, thanks for joining us for another week. Let's get into the final chapters of Honey and Spice. I gotta admit, I'm a little sad that, we're gonna be leaving Blackwell. We're gonna be leaving Kai and Kiki. I love them down. I wasn't sure about the two of them when we started, but I have fallen for real. So, we're going to pick up right where we left off. At 21, we left off. Chapter 21, we left off. Kai was putting hands deservingly on Zach. And he and his girl Kiki had decided it was time to slip away, slip upstairs. After party, Everybody loves a good after party.
Mm-hmm.
So we jump into chapter 22. And I'm going to be real grown about this.
Yeah, let's be grown. Let's be grown. Yeah.
So, so what happened? What happened was they go upstairs, they get into it, and she, Kiki, she like me. She forgets things. I have a few friends who everywhere they go, they forget a towel, they forget a toothbrush maybe. Kiki forgot her pajamas. So not what else to do but borrow a t-shirt from your boyfriend as he lays shirtless. And then because the tension's just too high, she decides I can't just keep staring at this boy. Let me interview you. She picks up his camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is, I didn't even ask you what your favorite part of what we read was, but I guess we'll get to it at the end. But this was up there for one of my favorite parts. Not the whole chapter, just like him like sitting in between her legs and they're pretending to do this interview that...
You know what this scene reminds me of? I don't know if you watch Love Jones, but
Yes.
there's a scene...
I watched it with you.
Oh, really? Sorry, Queen.
Oh, wait, no. We pandemic watched it.
Ah, we were like sharing it
Yeah.
off the stream. Okay, perfect. But this particular scene, the way it's described to me, is taking me back to Love Jones. That scene where Nina picks up his camera and is taking pictures of Darius, like candid pictures for his book cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me smile.
It just made you smile, that's it?
Well, continue.
So anyway, so they move from interviewing to Malachi putting the camera down, make sure that was turned off, and they smooch a little. Nothing unholy about that. A little smooch.
Mm-hmm.
But what's important about the interview is that she picks up the camera and she asks him, "Are you sure you like me?"
Yeah.
Because if you remember, at the end of last chapter, right before Zach came and ruined the mood, he was telling her that he really did like her and he liked her a lot, and he really regretted not kissing her at the time that they had before they went off to Ty's house like a week ago. But then Zach came in and we know what happened. So she picked up the camera and she's like, "Are you sure you like me?" And essentially the way he describes, he's like, "I'm very serious about this. Like, I'm not playing with you.
Mm-hmm.
I want this to be as real can be." And knowing Kiki, she's reserved, she's a little scared, but she's with it. And that's when they lead to the camera going down.
Mm-hmm.
And the smooching starts, the kissing starts.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a lot of descriptions from one thing with Bully Buffalo is that she is a writer.
Let me tell you.
she somebody I was when I was reading reviews, they described her as poetic. She is quite poetic in the way that she describes things. But they're kissing and Kiki just says, Malachi tasted like all the things I liked. cognac and chocolate,
Oof.
honey and spice,
Oof.
and then a couple other things, But I couldn't get it all in. But she had to drop in the honey and spice in there. And the one thing about this chapter, and of course, what I will always say, you can tell when a woman writes a love scene or just writes romance in general, is like he's serving her.
Yep.
Every part of this situation is about her, and he is pleased to serve her. Like that turns him on, which it should, you
Yep.
know, normally. Um, they get into it. Hannah's just looking at me. I don't know why she's looking
I'm
at
not
me,
looking at you, girl.
but they get into it, and it is, I can't say I know this. We've marked this podcast explicit, but girlies, um, just know they didn't do the do, because what we found out actually is our girl Kiki's a virgin. It makes sense though. She talks a lot.
Yep.
She talks a lot, so it makes sense. So even though she doesn't want to be described as a nerdy virgin, as she calls herself, she low key is that, and that's okay. It makes sense. They're second year university students. Neither of them have been in anything so serious, so they don't actually get into it because she's not ready for all that. But he does what needs to be done.
Yep, he
You
does.
know, with his hands in his mouth. Um,
Look at her, so coy. I really, actually, when I was reading this chapter, I did write down in my notes that he's such a giver, like what you said.
yes.
He's a respectable, consensual partner to have. And
Yes,
like,
consensual, very important. Yeah.
oh yeah, very, very important. He's very respectable, like, towards what they're doing. And like as you said earlier, like this writer is a writer, and I really like the descriptions that she uses to describe how she feels. And so, like part of it was just like he was drawing constellations on me, or drawing
Oh, yeah,
constellations
yeah.
from me, stargazing, starry, and her stomach was flipping and dipping. And you know what I mean? Like y'all can go
If
with
you
that.
haven't, just go read that one chapter.
Exactly. It's beautifully written. I enjoyed it so much, honestly. I think this is the first time we're seeing them in a very close, intimate motion.
Yeah.
And it was just done so beautifully, and I just felt you know what, when she says that Kai makes me feel safe, he does. He's a very safe partner to
Yes,
have.
and they like, we know the both of them to be very jokey with each other, and that
Mhm.
even in that moment, like, and to go back to the point about consent, he was very adamant of making sure, like,
Yeah.
she was vocalizing that she was okay with the situation.
Mhm.
And even though she tried to be coy, there's one part where, like, he asked her, like, to essentially, like, say that she wanted to do whatever it was. I actually don't remember, but she didn't want to do it because Kiki's like me. She got pride. Um, and she kind of like just used her body to kind of show it. And
Yeah.
he got distracted for a second, but then he said, "Nice try, witch." That
No,
was like the
witch.
exact
Yeah, he
quotation.
did call her a witch.
He's like, "That's not what I told you to do." But of course, with Kiki, he doesn't. And with Kai and Kiki, he fell into it either way. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but like again, it was all about serving him, and he, even in that sense, or serving her in that sense, like when it came time to reciprocate, he wanted to be adamant, like he was not rushing to have her do anything that she wasn't ready to do.
Yeah.
Um, and he said we have time, Scotch, because I think he sees forever with her, and forever is a lot of
Oh.
time, a lot of time.
I really enjoyed that very brief conversation they had about, because like she said that, well, he has given me so much, then therefore like am I obligated to give him the
Yes,
same? And Kai goes ahead and says, you have given me the same, like you've given me much more.
right.
And I think for me that just, I mean, like it just solidifies in my head that this man really cares about this girl, and he wants to make sure that everything that he does, it's very intentional, very meaningful, and that it's respectable for her boundaries. He's always thinking about her boundaries. That got me. It was very sweet.
Yes, and I think that's so important, especially because like, ooh, excuse me, but
Hmm.
especially just because like, again, the setting, they're university students, and any of us who've been 18 or even post early 20s still, but like, we don't teach girls how to say no, and especially
Yeah.
when it comes to sexual encounters, we make it seem as though it's something that they have to do for boys.
Yeah.
And I know that there's going to be a lot of younger girls who read this. I actually have a cousin who wants to read this after me, so I gotta give her the book.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important to know, like, you don't have to do anything. You do
Mm-hmm.
not have to do anything. It's nice. You should definitely try and, pleasure somebody as much as they want to you, but, like, nothing is by force. Consent always, consent first.
Yep.
Don't do things because you want to do it. Do it because, or don't do things because you have to do it. Do things because you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're 100% comfortable with doing it. So it's really nice. And again, this time I know this character is written by a woman. It's nice to, not to say there's not guys like that out there, that are out there. Um, but I can tell who wrote this. Let me just say that much. So, yeah, I enjoyed all of that, and it kind of just ended there again because our girl Kiki, she's taking it slow. But
Yep.
all I got is Kai said, "Well, I like you a lot, Kiki Banjo." Um, Especially because when he told her, like, you don't have to do anything, she immediately took that as rejection, as she did last time. My girl's putting on her clothes.
Yep.
And he's like, can you just slow down for 3 seconds? Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And you can tell she's someone who needs a lot of reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very, very willing to give it. And I love that. And
Yeah.
that is chapter 22.
Yeah, that was a very smutty chapter. But moving on from that, I think now in chapter 23, this is 2 weeks post their bedroom interaction. And I think it opens up with her finally having a conversation with Dr. Miller.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
So
right,
they're in
right.
the office and she's just like the first the first opening sentence was, "Oh, you're a little chirpy."
Yes.
I say, "Dr. Miller, let me tell you, your girl Kiki has been oot and a boot."
It's kind of like when girls start tweeting, "Good morning."
Listen, good morning. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm
Yeah,
thinking, yeah, we know
okay.
why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, Essentially, I think Dr. Miller is just like, also I think at this point, like, she's probably like sent clips of her project to Dr. Miller and she's like, this is
Right.
going on very well, I'm so proud. And your partner, who is her boyfriend Kai, is just like, his project is turning out really great, you
Yes.
guys make an amazing team.
And the numbers for which I've learned, it's not, I know why I got it confused now. So it's not he said she said for brown sugar. It's called, oh my god, I wrote it down somewhere too. Damn.
Gotta hear both sides.
Gotta hear both sides, but then I know why I got mixed up. The ad placement that they did with Homegirl in one of the, that's not Simi's blog, but the other one, it gave the title, then said it's a he said, she said, and that's where I
Oh,
got mixed up. So
got
my
it.
bad, y'all. But either way, they went back and forth, so it's he said, she said. Um, but yeah, but the numbers for Gotta Hear Both Sides have really gone up. I think they've like quadrupled. They're rising up on like the most listened show
Yeah.
on campus. And she now has the ear. She's always had the ear of the streets, but like she really has it now that she's kind of branched out a little more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and she's happy. Kai's project's going well.
Her
Her
project's
project's
going
going
well.
well.
You know what I really like? The language. I'm just gonna briefly talk about how the language is used here. I really like that the writer went ahead and said that Kiki has been walking around like she swallowed a star.
Oh,
Aww. And again, like, this is going on with the whole like concept around stars, constellations. Like, I really notice the language in these cases, but Kiki overall is really happy, y'all. Like, she's really into herself, and I love that for her.
yes, and I think the only advice Dr. Miller gives her is make sure you know why you're doing it and make sure
Mhm.
the reasons that you're doing it are reflected in your work. So essentially, have your work have some depth to it, which
Amen.
I think it does at this point,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see. So then that chapter 23 was kind of short.
It was. I think like the biggest thing that happened there is that as they're having that conversation, there's like protesting happening outside
Oh,
the
yes,
window.
yes, yes. So they can hear a
Yeah.
protest beginning, which leads into chapter 23. Because as she's leaving Dr. Miller's office, she's meeting up with Mina and Kai to go
Mhm.
film or to
Mhm.
go record. And the protest is blocking the studio doors.
Yeah.
And it happens to be, I believe her name is Adoa.
Yes, Adoa. That's her name.
Okay, so Adoa, if you guys don't remember, she used to be, well, at the time she was vice president for the ACS, or Blackwell as it's commonly known. So she worked under Zach, and she came to Kiki talking about how like Zach was doing this whole thing with the Whitewell Knights, and it
Mm-hmm.
was all like, "Do Black Lives Matter?" And she tried to get
God.
Kiki to like talk about it on the show, but Kiki's very, at the time she's like, brown sugar is a neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even gonna do that here. Well, Adoa's quit. She did no longer vice president. She has found out some juicy
Let me
things
tell you.
that Mr. Zach, what's his face, has been doing. Zachary
Kingsford, asshole.
Kingsford has been doing. He has been very light and bright everywhere that he go.
Mm-hmm.
So the protest starts, and Kiki slips her way in to find Adoa, and and Adoa says, essentially, she's quit. She has a girlfriend, which is important. And can I just say, I knew who it was
You did?
immediately. Yes.
Girl, okay, I
I thought
was.
about it. I was like, girlfriend who's, I said there's two options. Either Simi or the other girl who I said wrote about it, and he's like, who could do like investigative, because they were both journalist students
Okay.
or journalism students. So I was like, okay, it's either or.
No,
The
I
only
was
thing I didn't
shocked.
expect was the Simi turnaround. But anyways, we'll get
We,
into
we'll,
that.
we'll get there.
But Adoa says she has a girlfriend who's been doing investigative work on Zach, and finds out not only has Zach been taking money from the Whitewell Knights, he's been purposely canceling events that the Blackwell students have been planning, mostly planned by black women, by the way. Simi's events, Kiki's events, Shanti had an event, Choma had an event. All these events are planned by the black women of the campus. He does nothing. He's just a face. Um, an evil face who goes out of his way to unbook rooms, to
Yep.
cancel events, double book them, do all that, and he's taking money from these literal future KKK members,
Exactly. And pocketing it.
pocketing it, not sharing the wealth. Okay,
Yep.
he is not for redistribution, just so that he can, because, and apparently his dad was
I was just gonna
also,
say his dad was part of the
yeah.
Whitewell Knights as well. I'm just like,
So they are
well.
generational token Negroes. Do you know how sad that is? Generational token.
Eesh.
So
Who's gonna break the cycle?
not him, because
Not him.
he
He's far
plans to, and I think all of us know one or two Zacharys in the future who just want to get into a little corporate firm and be the only face, and they love to be the only face in the room,
Yep.
the only face of color. So she finds all this out, and she's protesting. Adoy and all the other students are protesting this, and Kiki is like, okay, we have to talk about this on Brown Sugar
Yeah.
now, because this boy has gone
Way too far.
One would even say three far.
Mm-hmm.
So she first has to convince Amina, because Amina is PR at the end of the day, and she wants to make sure things stay good, numbers stay up.
Yep.
But they find a way around it, and they go on to
Their studio.
Yes.
And so I think at this point Kiki's just like, y'all, I need to disclose some stuff about this man.
Yes.
This man Zachariah.
So everything Ado has told her, she tells her audience, who are very tuned in. It's actually blaring outside the studio, so she can hear her own voice.
Yep.
And on top of that, they read the bylaws of how they can actually call a by-election. Because he apparently wasn't really voted in; it just kind of happened.
Probably
But-
paid his way somewhere.
Probably.
Mr. Corrupt.
He's beyond corrupt. You know what? He's like an African leader. That's what he is.
I was. You and I think alike. I was like, where is the ICC? Lock him up immediately. Immediately.
That is exactly how they move.
Yep.
Okay, they take money from Europeans that they should not be taking it from, and then make sure no hospitals get built.
Nothing.
Okay, roads undone.
But they have 5 swimming pools.
Yep.
3 estates and 2
Yep.
gorillas.
And on top of that, he has time to be harassing women. Sick.
Very sick.
So they essentially say, we're gonna call an election. Y'all can sign up, and I already have a few names who I think would be great. Adol for president, I think Shanti for something else, and then Mina for another role. I don't know the specific of the roles, but they're a whole cabinet on their own. Kiki has chosen not to get involved in that way for now. But it's looking promising. I don't think anybody's ever tried Zach before.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting. So it leads into, I think those are actually chapters 24, and then it goes into 25. I will
Um,
say the last couple chapters, they went by so quick.
that's why they're melding into each other right now in my head.
Yes.
Because I think chapter 3 it ends when I guess maybe a couple days after Kiki makes discloses publicly that Zachary is a corrupt, leader.
Yes.
She walks into Malachi's room, and this is where my
Yes.
heart starts to, tilt a little
Girl,
bit
it's coming
because I'm just
back.
like, no, 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 I don't want conflict, please.
Oh my
So
God.
Kiki walks into not Zachary, my God forbid, walks into Kai's room, and she's very chirpy because like I guess like from the whole public announcement about Zach is causing like a lot of
No, no,
like,
no, I remember why she's chirpy. So they have an inside joke. There's like a glee club on campus,
yes, you're right, that's what it
and they
is.
did a rendition of, I don't remember what song
They
it
did a
is,
rendition
bro.
of Niggas in Paris by
Yes.
Jay-Z, and instead of saying niggas in Paris they said suckers in Paris.
Right.
And it said when Kanye West says you should marry Kate
Kiki and
and Ashley, they
Ashley.
said you can marry Kate and Kiki, or Kiki and marry
Oh,
Kate.
Kiki and Ashley. So
Kiki
they
and
were trying to
Ashley.
like, what do you call it?
Like,
They were just shy because they heard about what she'd been doing, and she thought it was funny. They think it's so funny because
yeah.
Glee clubs are funny. And they both say I blame Pitch Perfect. I blame Pitch Perfect too, but the first Pitch Perfect eats every time. Sorry, y'all.
I've watched none of them, but
Oh, you think you're better than me?
I'm assuming it's like Sing and Sing 2.
No, they're different. Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Glee. I mean,
Not Glee.
Pitch. I'm exposing myself here.
Oh wait, Pitch Perfect is a cup song.
Yes.
Okay, I watched that. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. My bad.
And Sing are great animation movies. Okay.
Sure. Okay. So the reason why she's chirpy, so because that's what's happening in the quad, like they're I guess doing a rendition of Niggas in Paris.
Yeah.
So she bursts into Malachi's room, and Malachi's sitting on his bed.
But his smile does not reach his eyes, as
No,
she says.
it does not. Why, Adelia?
Because he's told his father he will not be coming to Lagos to work
Yep.
at his company. He's
Yep.
going to be a runner for a production team over the summer, and his dad
Called
called
him a
him
glorified houseboy. Yeah.
I wrote that down
Me
with
too.
him.
I wrote down too because that is disrespectful. Like,
Like, fam, you know I'm your son? Like,
he doesn't like him. You want me dead. That's what you want. You want me dead.
what?
That's so rude.
A glorified houseboy?
Sheesh.
And everybody has to start somewhere. Like, I don't understand. But he doesn't even want him to do it to begin with. And, I think Kai has that moment that every kid has had when your parents don't like something about you that you think is integral about yourself. And he says, I don't even care. I don't know why I still care about this person's opinion of me.
Yeah.
And oof, I have felt that way. You're like, why do I care?
Yeah.
Like, it's really upsetting me that you don't like this about me, but I can't change anything about this. So why? And it's so hard with parents. Like I said when we talked about his dad previously, you grow up and this is someone that you respect, and you want them to see you in a certain light. So when they
Yeah.
don't, it is painful. And every time, I think that's always going to be a hard thing for Kai to get over.
Yeah, I think like he's very traumatized from the way his father treats him, and maybe like, well, his whole family.
Right.
And you know what? He's looking for his father's approval every single
Yep.
time, even when
Yep.
he knows he's not gonna get it. Like him telling his dad, "I got this summer job as a production,
Yeah.
whatever it's called," and him calling him a glorified houseboy. It's just like, well, I want to share some good news with you and show you like I'm coming up, but like you just don't care. But you know what? It's the same African parents. Once you get your Oscar, don't be on
Honestly,
stage.
Honestly,
Say, I believed in him. You
No,
didn't.
you didn't.
You're an op. That's what you are.
You were my biggest hater.
Exactly. Exactly.
You didn't believe in anything. This
but-
man, mind you, this man has not asked, can I see a clip?
Nothing.
Can I see what you like to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Shows no interest. Aish. We have to do better, y'all. Anyway, I think it's important to point out in this particular scene, before Kiki like presses on Malachi to provide like pulling teeth essentially, like
Yeah.
saying like, can you please like tell me like what's wrong, because you clearly like you just kissed me right now and it was a very brief like
Yeah.
kiss, like there's no passion in that. She makes a comment that I'm just like, this is coming back, girl. She automatically says, oh well, like if you want this thing to end right now,
Oh, I hate
like
that.
let's end it. You know what I mean? Like if you have a problem
Yeah.
with how our situation's set up, just let me know. And this shocks Kai. Well, it shocks me too. Me and Kai are shocked.
I was shocked too.
It shocked me, Kai, and Odelia. 3 people. Um, and he's just like, no, 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 never that, never that. And that's when he says that I told my father about this summer position, and he called me a glorified houseboy and stuff. And that's why he's sad.
And you know what? I hate that about the main characters in every single story.
Yeah.
They're always like, immediately, let's throw the relationship out the window. And it pisses me off
It's
so
insecurities.
much. Like,
It's
okay, but
insecurities.
deal with that. Therapy. I don't know.
No,
I'm trying to have a good time here.
you're right.
And you're ruining the... I thought this was a happy time, and you just want to be insecure. But anyways, I think also at this point I'm reading and I'm like, is this the conflict? Because we've gone so far
Let me tell you,
with
my
no
dear.
major conflict between them. And I thought, you know what? I fooled myself.
You did. This is the precursor to the Big Bang.
I said, maybe there's no conflict.
Wow.
Maybe the conflict is Zach. I fully convinced myself that the conflict was external and the two of them would be okay.
I'm here from the future to tell you, my dear.
I'm also here from the future.
Anyway, to like conclude this particular chapter, I think like Kiki she already knew about his summer position, so she gets him a gift, which is a clapperboard.
Yes.
And if you guys are familiar with clapperboards, like it's like, I guess
Take two.
Take two, exactly. It's that
Yeah.
clapperboard, and it has his name on it
Yeah,
as director, and then it says
director.
untitled.
Oh!
The love is sweet. It's so good. And then Kai said, you know what? This is the second best gift anyone has ever given me. And she's just like, wait a damn minute. What's the first? And he says, you. That's it, y'all.
That's the end of the book, guys. Nothing happens after that.
Man, no. This man has me giggling. Oh my God. Love is sweet. Everybody got somebody. Anyway, now we move on to chapter 24. And this starts off in Sweetest Ting.
Sweetest Ting, yes.
Yes.
So they're holding a campaign party. Well, it was supposed to be a little more of a classy event, but it's turned into a full-on party. And, I don't remember the owner's name. Meji is just happy because there's just bare people in his restaurant right now.
Like,
he doesn't even care that
they're business is booming.
They're pouring drinks into like ginger ale cups they're not supposed to be pouring them into. He's like, let me ignore what I'm seeing.
Exactly.
Let the money keep coming.
Amen.
So she's sitting there, everybody's there. Everybody who needs to be there is there. Mina's there, Kai's there, Kiki's there. I don't remember what happens, but essentially Simi comes over and no. First Kiki's chilling with like Amina.
Yeah.
Oh, as a precursor, actually, I think what we forgot to talk about is the fact that oh wait, actually no, that happened later. My bad. Anyways, so she's chilling with her girls. Her, Mina, Choma, Shanti, they're just chilling and talking.
Yeah.
And then her and Amina are talking just in general. I can't remember what they're talking about, but I feel like this is important. It comes up later.
I feel like, are you talking about the scene where she makes a comparison between herself and Kai's ex-girl?
Yeah, so before that, like, Kai comes over. To be honest...
Hey, it's difficult to say.
No, because I wasn't mad at him.
Okay,
but I also think I've given him, like...
because you're biased. Boo, I'm
like,
here...
Aw,
No, I am here to say something different, okay?
No, okay, because I knew what he was trying to say.
It plays a big role in the future when they have...
No, because she was insecure. But before that, maybe we should tell people what was said.
So, essentially, I think, like, when you're in the moments you're with your person and everything is just going on so well, like, they're in the sweetest thing, and they're looking around and saying, like, wow, this is so comfortable, this is our home. Kai makes a comment saying that my ex, Ama, who he talked about with Kiki before, it's like she would never come to something like this. Like, this is not her sort of vibe. And, of course, my insecure girl, Kiki, was just like...
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? But I don't think she told him, but I think she felt, like, internally she felt it.
Though. Oh, yeah. Her face showed and then his face went like, yikes.
By the way, Odila, I don't think there's anything wrong with him mentioning that, because I would have been like, yeah, you upgrade. You know what I mean? You upgraded. Good for you, King.
I'm like, good. I'm glad that you can be yourself around me.
But Kiki took that very personally.
She didn't even have time to process it because this is when Simi comes and takes a seat, and she essentially tells Kai to go away, and Kai says, if you need help, the passcode is "you're so handsome" or something like that.
Exactly.
And she's like, that is not a word. That's a whole phrase. I'm not going to say it. Please go away.
Yeah.
So Simi, we find out, is actually kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes over and essentially congratulates Kiki for everything that she's done so far, campaign wise, to take down Zach. Lets her know that Zach's actually running a party right now separately to do
Mm-hmm.
damage control,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Simi is the investigative girlfriend
She
of
orchestrated the
Adoa.
takedown.
She orchestrated a takedown.
Come on now.
The whole thing. And, when we saw her bring Zach to the party, she was on the clock.
Yep. She was taking notes.
Yep. And even though she doesn't, at the beginning, not that she doesn't like Kiki, she wasn't her friend, but she still respected her and thought of her a good
Mm-hmm.
person. And so she already knew that Kiki had been with Zach
Yeah.
because she was doing the investigative work and was just like, girl, why are you even doing that?
Yeah.
And even before that, she lets her know that she knows what he was doing, and because she was president of the ACS before Zach was, at this point, Simi is a senior. She's going to do her master's next year. Um, because she knew what was happening. He was ruining everything, ruining the connections that she had built,
Yeah.
everything. And again, I think the theme of this story is that Black women build things.
And black men take them down. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. It's been said. Sorry.
What that means is sometimes other members of our community don't uphold
Man. Yeah.
the work that it's never for the greater good when they participate. Whereas Black women try and do things for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do things selfishly. And I think that is what Miss Bolu Babalo was trying to say here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
A
be
word?
politically correct, but Hannah's right. Some Black men can be selfish in terms of activism,
Yep.
and this is a sign of that. But yeah, so she essentially tells Kiki, I've been working overtime.
Amen.
Bryson Tiller. Um,
Love that song.
I was about to start singing it. She's like, yeah, I've been working overtime and I put the work in, and yeah, what I need from you actually though is Adoa's, I know she's president right now, but she doesn't mind being vice president, but
Mm-hmm.
you have the people, you have the streets.
Yep.
You should be president. And she's like, I know you already said no. I think you should say yes. Think it over. You would have my support. I already know how to spin the blogs and like everything to to have it work out.
Yeah.
And excuse me, one thing that Kiki also points out is like since she's been more involved in Blackwell, is that it's been less factions.
Yeah.
And
Like
people, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like the Veggie Girls and the Erica Badu's are
I
all
think they're the
coming
same people.
together. Are they?
I think the vegan baddies are the
Okay,
same.
the vegan baddies and the other sects in this
The mini
world.
sex, yeah.
Yeah, they're all melding together, coming for one cause, and and they're mostly run by women, so that sisterhood is strong.
Yes.
And I think it's just really nice to see, and I think it has really made Kiki open up more into like, I care about this community, like let me fight for it, let me be part of it, because I have the skills and I have the compassion for it as well. So it's nice.
Right. Like there's even a moment where Kiki like looks around the room and she makes a point like she sees one of the Bible study girls talking to the reformed roadman.
And she's not trying to convert him.
No.
She's accepting him as it is.
Exactly.
Bona fide road
Amen.
man. I love to see it, man. Come on now.
I actually don't.
I do.
But okay.
We're all here for a reason. Let's all meld. But yeah, she's very proud of what's going on, and just, she just feels very full, very, just she's part of something.
Right.
But of course, no chapter can end nicely.
No, things were going way too well. So before Simi can even fully convince Kiki to do this, everybody in the room gets the same or pronto pick live notification.
Yeah.
Also side note.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention the previous chapters, but Kai has been trying to get Amina to accept his pronto pick request
Bro.
for weeks.
Amina is me. Why?
For weeks. And he said, early in the chapters, he said he even saw her scroll past his request.
When they were hanging out with Kofi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To accept somebody else.
Amina's my queen.
So when he had originally come over to Kiki to talk to her, he and Amina was leaving so that they could have a moment. He said, Amina, can you accept my request now? and she said, make it to 3 months first,
Yeah.
and then we'll see. And I think that's also a foreshadow, unfortunately. But but I get that. I'm the same way with my girls. You know, boyfriend. I don't even remember your names
What
for
names?
at least 6 months.
What man?
I
You got
pick
a man?
one thing that I remember about you. You're tall. You wear this color, and I stick with it.
Amen.
Um, I'm not gonna bother remembering a name that's not gonna be here tomorrow. So I get where Mina's coming from, but at this point, you gotta accept Kai's request. But then when she says that, he turns to Kiki and says, she basically called me her brother.
Yeah.
We're besties at this point. But anyway, so everybody's back on Pronto Live because the devil,
The devil
ooh, the
himself is
devil,
live. How did you get on live?
the devil never sleeps, they say. And the devil is a light-skinned man named Zachary Kingsport. And he does something so despicable and disgusting to me.
Yeah.
So essentially, he not only does he use the name of Madiba himself, Nelson Mandela, to try and prove that he didn't scam Blackwell and wasn't taking money illegally. He denies all that, and then even goes as far as to say that it's a smear campaign.
Yep. He said it was a
And
witch hunt. He said I've been
yep,
lynched. I said be very careful of the words you're using. But he speaks like one of those. He speaks like a political
yep,
leader. You know what I
yep,
mean? Just
exactly,
nonsense. He's
exactly.
chatting shit. That's what he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Um.
He's not saying anything of use, anything of truth.
Yep.
And then he goes further and says that's because Kiki and him used to mess around
Mhm.
and she's not over it.
Mhm.
She's not over it. And he does something that, men, if a man does this, he is scum. Like, there's no coming back for this.
Yeah.
He decides that he's going to post a picture on his Insta, his Pronto.
Mhm.
Um, his Pronto of like a picture he took without Kiki's permission of her
Yeah.
backside.
Yeah.
You can't really tell that it's her,
But
but considering what everything that he's just said, and she hasn't seen it yet, and Simi's told her she's talking as this is happening, but Simi says, Zach's just trying shit, don't let this stop you from running.
yeah.
Before she can process it, Kai and Mina are running over and she gets into his car and she watches the live and it's like her whole world is tearing down.
Yeah.
Um
And in this moment, I believe that Kiki's having flashbacks of all the men in her
yeah,
past,
yeah,
who have tried exactly like they leverage her and they just like break her down.
exactly, exactly.
It's unfortunate.
Exactly.
So
And she blames it on the fact that she's gone herself back into having a friend group again.
yeah,
And she's basically recoiling all the work that we've seen her put in to be a more well-rounded human being throughout the chapters.
yeah.
And it's sad to see.
At the end of that chapter, she actually vomits because she's
Oh,
so
right,
disgusted. And I
right,
think for
right.
me, it's just like that is
Right.
like it's so. Honestly, Zachary. Now I hate every Zachary and Zach. You see? Well, anyway, we move on. You know how I feel about the biblical names, except you, Malachi. So now we move on to chapter 25, and so. In terms of setting, this is essentially 2 days after that live has happened. And
Yes.
Kiki goes to her safe space, which is the library that she's talked
Because
about.
she's been hiding from everybody
Yeah.
anyways. Everybody's come to her door, everybody's knocked.
Yeah.
She is not wanting to hear it out. And she's basically she feels stuck between a rock and a hard place because if she comes out and says something and says it's not true, then she's lying and people are going to think she's lying.
Yeah.
But if she admits to it, then people are going to think everything that she said is BS anyways.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter because the numbers are dropping either way for brown
Yeah.
sugar.
People are so fickle.
The like are so quick.
What kind of society are they living in?
They don't want to hear the facts.
No, it's just like headline, yeah, unfollow, blocked. Like, what's going on?
Nobody,
Damn.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, and I think like at this point she also feels like because she is trying to help with the whole political campaign to try and get the right people in power for their community, she feels like this messy situation that she feels like she caused it is
Right.
going to tarnish the reputations of people who are trying to like run.
Yes.
And so she just feels like she's a messy person, which, she has mentioned before in the past. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, I see a bunch of insecurities coming back because of the situation. And yeah, I definitely feel for Kiki. I wish I could be there to hold her hand and say, "Girl, it's not your fault." Like I wish I could be there to guide her. But Kai comes in and tries to help our girl out. So he gets really worried because she hasn't been seen outside for 2 days.
Yeah.
And her friends are worried, and they send Kai into the library, her safe space, to try and like console her. He asks her like first, like, is it
Do you want me to
okay?
go? Yeah.
Exactly. See,
Really sweet
Kai,
about it.
that's a man right there. That's
You
a
know
king
what?
right
This
there.
chapter upsets me. From this point on,
It's okay. It's upsetting, but we have to go through it.
I don't want to
So
relive this.
obviously, like they are sitting on the ground in between, I guess, like different shelves and stuff, and Kiki is just venting, saying, "Yo, like this is so fucked up."
Yeah.
Excuse my French. And she just like, who is going to list tune in into Brown Sugar? Now, who's gonna tune into Brown Sugar with my fake boyfriend? Because Zachary has gone ahead and discredited the show and everybody around me. Now, of course, what she's saying is perfectly normal because it's just like, yeah, like, like look, it doesn't paint a perfect picture to the outside world. But Kai focuses on just two words. He said fake boyfriend.
No, because I would too. Because like, now hold on.
Yeah,
I just spilt my heart to you.
exactly. Like we
I
just had
told
that
you,
moment
like,
2 weeks.
we're not faking anymore.
Exactly, this is real.
Why are you saying fake boyfriend?
And
Why
so
are you
she,
still saying that?
and so he questions her, and then she just like, you know what I mean? He's like, no, I actually don't.
And then she
What
said,
is
"Are
it?
you seriously trying to ask what we are right now?" My girl, I thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Exactly. He said this is not a plaything for me. Okay, this is serious. Like he told you multiple times, but of course, like Kiki has already said what she said, and like it's out in the open. And of course, Kai feels like, whoa, like this girl's on the same page as me. I think she's only doing all this stuff in relation to Brown Sugar. She
Yeah.
doesn't see our relationship beyond that. So he's on defense, she's on defense, and they start essentially doing that thing of like they're saying what they're meaning what they're saying, but it's really mean, y'all. It's just
It's not even they
mean.
mean it. They're just like, and you know what? It's not even Kai. It's Kiki.
It's Kiki.
You know what? I'm sorry. You can call me Kai apologist, but it's Kiki.
No.
Because Michael said, "You know what? He's already cheesed at me. Let me keep going."
Yeah.
And then she said, "I'm mad at all the men." And she's like, "You're just using me because you don't think you'll be able to actually, She pulled that. She's like, she essentially said, "You have daddy issues and think you're gonna fail at relationships." That's essentially what she said.
And then he said something along the lines like, well, you're trying to like maybe find comfort in this because of your past experiences with men, or like the guys that she's spoken about in the past. So you can, guys, they are hurting each other. And honestly, Odile didn't hear me when I was reading this chapter, but I screamed.
You know what? Actually, I was reading it when you were here, and I literally closed the book. I think at one point I said no, and I closed the book. And I said, I'm not doing this. I went back because I was like, oh, shoot, we got to record this. But I was upset. I was like,
It was so upsetting.
And mind you, I already gaslit myself into believing there wasn't going to be conflict.
Yeah. But here we are, love, in the thick of it. And like, because with the chapters, like you can clearly say that she's regretting everything that's coming out of her mouth. But she keeps saying, and she keeps questioning herself, why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? See, girl, nothing sounds rational that's coming out of your mouth right now. And the same thing for you, Kai. Like both of y'all are just, it's small misunderstanding. Please, let's fix it.
And they essentially break up, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't even want y'all to get back together.
Just that's it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be fooled.
Obviously, I'm lying, but like. Yeah. And then he does the smart thing of being like, I'm going to leave now before we say even more hurtful things. Yeah. Because I think in his head, he's like, we can come back from this. Not Kikiola, though. She says, well, it's done. It's over. Oof. I guess I'm just going to bury myself now. Yeah. And goes absent for 2 weeks. No classes, no assignments. Nothing. No radio show, no friends, no nothing.
Yep.
And I think that leads us to like chapter 25 or 26.
That's 26. Okay. So 26, the opening is more of like, so by this time a week has passed, and Kiki of course is distraught. So she's just laying in her bed like she's gonna cause some issues, just laying there crying and thinking to herself, damn, like I regret it and I miss him, obviously, because like they used to speak to each other every single day. And essentially, her friends, so Chioma, Shanti, and Amina, knock on her door and say, girl, this is an intervention.
Like, you've had your time.
Like, 2 weeks. We gave you time. It's time to get up and do some stuff.
And we sent you everything. We sent you food. We sent you incense.
Yep.
We gave you crystals. Like, you gotta get up now. Okay?
Yeah. And so they just go ahead and I guess like they're trying to console her and say like, listen, um, like sorry this is all going on. Like, it's not your fault. It
Yeah.
is. Sorry.
No, okay,
Sorry,
let's
it
be
is.
clear. The Zach part is
No, no, no,
not
no,
your
no.
fault.
That's not her
The Kai
fault.
part,
That's your fault because
that's all
you
you,
can
queen.
control how you speak to
Yeah.
somebody.
And I hate people who are angry and choose to just hurt everybody else. Like,
Like
grow up.
you have to know you have to know where the belt is.
Yeah.
Stay on top, y'all. Okay, don't go below the belt. And anyway, so they're trying to console her and just rubbing her back and say, y'all, like I'm so sorry this is going on. Actually, I think at this point, like even Amina says that Kofi told her that Malachi's in the pissy mood as well.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say what happened. He's just like, it is what it
Yeah,
is, man. You know
exactly.
how it is. No, we don't know how it is. What, tell your man that your girl broke up with you
Yeah,
and you hurt. And it's okay. Be a big boy. Like, let's talk about our emotions. But
yeah.
they're the both of them. The both of them are ridiculous.
This is actually also the part where they come up with a nickname for Zachary, which is Zit.
I don't even like that name.
No, I think it needs to be worse than that. It was very
Honestly.
blah for me. I said, go
Yeah.
harder, y'all. Go harder.
Come up with new things.
So I think also at this point, like Amina and Kiki actually have an honest conversation about her not going out with her that much, like going to social events with her that much, because the now remember the Afro Winter Ball is still upcoming, so and Kiki's thinking like I'm not gonna go there, that's embarrassing, and then Amina is just like, oh, so you're not gonna go because you don't have a man no more, but I'm here,
Exactly.
and I agree with Amina when she said
Yeah,
that.
because I do think if someone's your friend, even if you don't like something, sometimes you have to go to those things just because you know they like them. Even though we know Amina would never force her,
Yeah,
but that's what friends do. And
exactly.
you've not gone to anything. But suddenly, a boy named Malachi shows up and suddenly you're a social butterfly. It's sick. I'd be upset too. I actually think Amina was really nice with her
Oh
when she
yeah.
said it.
Oh yeah. Because
I
I
would
would
have
have
been
gone
like,
harder.
you're beg for a man.
Ooh, not beg. That would hurt
I would
me.
make sure I'd be like, you're beg for a man because you've been everywhere and anywhere with
Yeah.
him. I asked you to go to the corner store and suddenly you're busy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And so I mean, Kiki's just like,
you're
you're
right.
right. Yeah, she is. Um, and so I think at the end she decides that she's gonna go for the ball, but then she wants to like come up with a plan to ensure that she can redeem herself in the public eye because this whole Zachary thing has gone on for too long. So we're waiting for her side. You know what I mean? Everyone's go his side, her side. So we're waiting
He
for
said,
her.
she said,
He said
for brown sugar.
for brown sugar.
Gotta
So
hear both sides.
because honestly, the public is so fickle. They want to hear
Oh,
both sides.
absolutely.
So Kiki, it's time for you to, you have to say something. Everyone's waiting for you to speak up. And I think actually Amina shows her emails, like emails from people
Yeah,
saying like, yo,
supporting
like
her.
Kiki, where are you at? Like, come here and defend yourself.
Yeah.
And so during this time, Kiki's like, okay, cool. I'm going to formulate a plan. And she believes that Simi can help her in making sure that they really take down that bastard Zachary.
Which makes Amina and Shola and Shanti go, she's clearly still not well. If she's talking about Simi,
I know.
Simi can help her. They don't know at this point everything that she knows. So they're just like,
Exactly.
maybe she needs some more crystals. I don't know.
And like looking ahead, Simi and Kiki make a fantastic duo.
Yeah, they're clearly two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we skip ahead to the after winter ball.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing their finest kente, their finest ankara.
Tell you, I could visualize the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I
Fantastic.
low-key wish I had something like that when I was in uni.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go in. The girls arrive together,
Mhm.
looking amazing, and they're asking Choma if she got any eyes for anybody there. I think they named one, two people.
Mhm.
They go in, and essentially what's going to happen is there's going to be a live episode of Brown Sugar that's never happened before.
Mhm.
Simi does not want any drama at her vet.
Nope.
She tells Homegirl, you got 30 minutes to do what you got to do, and then we're calling it a day, okay?
Yep.
After that, we're out.
Yep.
What's clear, though, is I don't think Zach's allowed to come to this event.
No.
Yeah.
I think he's somewhere. We don't care. Hopefully in hell.
I agree. Yeah, so the event, we go in, as Simi is telling Mina and Kiki this, she also says, including the no drama, Amina. I know that your man's over there, Kofi, is talking to Zuri Isak. That's not my business. Keep that for tomorrow. I don't want any arguing because your man's out here. I'm like, Kofi,
I know.
Zuri, talking.
Even I turned my head when Simi said that. I said, who is Kofi talking to? But then you know what? After Amina tells us why he's acting a little
I was
petty.
like, oh, I was like, now I gotta come on the podcast and tell Hannah that she was right.
What I'd say, remember a couple weeks ago when I told you guys, like, you just cannot, men will get, well, men, the people will get tired if you constantly want them to chase you and chase you and chase. Like, when is it gonna be enough? Essentially, what Amina did was, honestly, Amina, do better. Do better, sis.
No, this was rude. So essentially what Amina did was they had gone to a Freaky Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki was not there because she was in hiding.
Yeah.
Her and Kofi were doing Mr. and Mrs. up at the booth,
Mm-hmm.
the DJ booth. And Amina's ex comes and stands right next to her.
Yep.
And he's talking about, I'm just trying to see what you like now.
Yeah,
like,
what's up, girl? I even calls her by her pet name.
Yep.
The pet name he gave her, Disney. Aish.
And
Amina.
she's there smiling and she's like, yeah, whatever. Not once did she introduce Kofi.
Nope.
Then her ex leaves and he's like, hello? And she's like, what? He's like, so you're just gonna stand there and talk to your ex in my face?
Yeah.
And at this point, my girl has called him bro. She's done this. Like, I get it. You know what? I'll give Kofi the pass now. I get it. So she then
was she almost in tears when she was telling Kiki like what happened?
Yeah, she was mad because she's seeing him now with this girl. Yeah, and she's jelly belly.
Of course.
And,
but then
yeah,
I think now this is where they give a little bit of like rationale as to why Amina was acting that way. She was talking about her parents.
Yes. So from what she shares is that not that her parents don't love each other. Yeah. But the way her father talks about her mother, it's like she's just always there, like almost like she was second choice. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, your mom's safe, she's not going anywhere, so he doesn't have to try. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't particularly like that. Yeah. Understandably. Yeah. So she in her head is translating like, to avoid having someone speak to me about me like that. Yeah. I have to make them try. Yeah. Because she wants him to put in the work. And I still get it. I still get it. To some extent, 100%. Let him put in the work. But girl, that is so embarrassing. Like, your man is right there. He's not your man, but he's your guy. And your ex is there and he's flirting with you. And you do it in front of your guy? Come on now. Yeah, you could have at least said, well, no, I'm here with my boyfriend. Yeah. I'm here with my Kofi. Yeah, cut it right there. But no, at that point you were trying to be hurtful. So when Kofi's smiling back at you, as he puts his headphones on Zuri Isak, teaching her how to I don't know, turn the tables or whatever it's called. I know, but you know what, Petty? Good for you, Kofi. You better reclaim yourself. I'm with Kofi. Exactly. So and that's what Kiki tells her. She's like, you gotta sometimes let people like you, let people love you, which is so funny coming from her. But Kiki is like me. I can give you the best advice that is for you because I know you deserve better, Adelia. But will I apply it to myself? No, never, not once. The advice goes over my head. Like I don't know why though. Girl, just leave him. Meanwhile, your ex is really the deadbeat is in your bed. Come on. Every girl is like that. It's like we need to just, if we were as adamant about wanting better for our friends as we were for ourselves, it would be heaven on earth, I think. It would. But I want to be difficult, so here we are. Not taking our own advice. Well, here you go. So that happens and they say, okay, we're going to fix that later. Girl, just talk to him. It'll be fine. And then it's time for the live show. Yes. But before the live show, actually, I just read in my notes right now that we're all wondering when are Kai and Kiki gonna see each other? Right, so as Amina explained to her, like, yo, like I messed up. Kofi's upset with me. Now he's there with Zuri playing all these tricks on me or whatever.
They're done with that conversation, and I think Kiki like sort of like pans through the room, and she spots Malachi looking at her. I think he's
Yeah.
at the bar, and he was hired to take pictures at
I think
the
he's taking pictures, yeah.
pictures of videos, like something artsy. You know, my guy's very artsy. At the Afro Ball
Afro
Fest.
Winter Ball.
I keep thinking Afro Fest.
Oh.
Yes, that the fest. And they actually mouth hello to each other. So,
Yeah.
okay, you guys, okay. You know what I mean? That's good. We were so excited, weren't we?
Point. The literal, just scraps. That's what
Yeah.
we got.
But there's more to come. So now this comes into like what you were saying. So now it's time for the brown sugar live session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she gets on the stage. She's nervous, but she's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
She admits that her and Zach had a thing, which is barely a thing when you really think about it.
There was nothing there.
And people in the audience are like, "I told you, I told you." And what?
And what about Miss Samantha?
Like,
It happened.
exactly. But then she says it was actually less than a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He made bigger, and then bigger than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, that picture, I never consented to that picture.
Yeah.
I will be sending a cease and desist.
Amen.
And I am not the first girl he's done this to. And a lot of women actually submitted their photos as proof. Same number, same everything. And she shows that on the screen, the projector behind her. Their photos obviously blurred except for her own.
Yeah.
And says this has been sent to the dean's office. He will be dealt with. Trust and believe. And I was like,
Amen.
I'm anti-police, but
Listen, in this case, lock him up, officer.
immediately.
Immediately.
Okay?
Yeah.
Take his ass to jail if you got to. Okay. I want nothing but the worst for Zachary Kingsford.
Yeah.
So she says all that, and everyone's like, okay. And then she also admits that her and Malachi were pretending to date. And you know what? From this point, everything was cringe for me.
What was it cringe for you, love?
There's so many things that happened that I glossed over just to, like, get the gist. But first I was like, girl, why would you tell everybody this?
I know. I think because she just wants to come clean. She's like, okay, here's my truth.
Take
Here's
your
my truth.
stinks to church, not to the
to
general
church.
student population.
Yeah, especially a student population that honestly, like, girl, doesn't matter. But I guess she was feeling very honest in that moment, and says like, yeah, me and Kai were in a fake relationship.
Mind you, her girls at this point are all laughed at her and
Yeah.
said, "You were in a fake relationship.
Yeah, it's
That
true.
boy was not in anything fake,
He told you
and
it's not
you're
fake.
the only
Anyway,
one
we move.
fooled."
Mhm.
And I have a friend who's like that actually, who show clear signs that somebody likes her, and she'll be like, "What?
Wait,
Who?
is your friend me?
What? No way. Yes, it's you.
Are you talking about me?
I am.
Rude. Anyway, I was out here browsing through our roster of friends. Can you imagine? To find out it's me, I'm the clown. Great. Yeah. And what about it?
And just like Hikyo, we have to BFFR. We have to be for real. The relationship was not fake. The feelings were real. And Kai was not faking anything. And none of us felt that he was faking anything.
Yeah.
Kiki in her heart of hearts knows that nothing was being faked.
She was pretending.
And
like, as she's essentially disclosing, like, their fake relationship was used for the ratings for the show and stuff, she's so nervous. She's on stage, obviously, and then she sees Malachi, like, guess, like, in the center or off center.
Yeah.
And he's on his phone, and then he leaves.
Down. Yeah, leaving.
And then at this point, I said, this is cringe.
That's when you said
Like,
it's cringe?
yeah, I said, this is cringe. Because, like, I'm saying that me and Malachi were in a fake relationship, but then she's just like, well, it wasn't really fake. It kind of felt real to me. But you know what? Like, I guess she's, like, going on and on about she's monologuing. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
And then Kai leaves. In my heart, I said, I said, Kiki, get off the stage.
Mind you, at the same time, the girl Kofi's talking to is very Isak's doing call and response to Kiki. Like, wait, you and Malachi were in a fake relationship. Can you not speak right now?
Yeah.
Like, let her finish this weird cringe speech that she's doing. And she said, she's like, well, it became real and I like him a lot. And, and she's expressing all her feelings for him.
Yeah.
And it's just all very cute, very nice, I guess, if that's your thing.
But the crowd was unresponsive. It was dead. Like I think I read somewhere where Amina was like trying to clap her hand just and get
And
everybody
nobody clapped.
weak applause. I said, Kiki, just do yourself a favor and get off the stage. That is so embarrassing.
Honestly.
That's okay. So in terms of cringe, yeah, that's where I was. I said, this is just too much.
So then after that awful display of affection that Homeboy dipped out on, Mina's like, well, anyways, here's our sponsor, and now we're gonna take some requests.
Yeah.
And of course, who calls in? Oh, Kai.
Actually, Adelia, before he calls in, they actually play his rough cut of the.
Oh no, that was cringe.
You're just we're glossing over cringe parts,
No,
which I agree with
I was
you.
like, ugh.
Well, for our listeners out there, so yeah, it's very cringe. So bear with us. So after her weak ass speech, no, it's not weak, but after
It's not weak.
everyone's just like, okay, girl, get off the stage. You know what I mean? Amina, our PR queen, comes and saves Kiki and says, anyway, let's hear from our sponsors. And so, like, I guess at this point, the room goes dark and something is playing on the projector. And essentially, it's a rough cut of what Malachi has been working on.
Yeah.
It's very cute, you guys. Like, think about I can describe like vignettes of like different couples and very candid moments, and like Kiki's voice is being voiced over all these different moments. So it's perfect, it's clean, you know what I mean? And like she's just like, what's going on? At this point, so as it's playing through, towards the end of it, Kai actually turns the camera to himself and he talks about how yeah, I know. Well, here we are, girl. What can we do? Kai turns the camera to himself in a very like candid way, and he's talking about like, well, you know, this love thing, like Darius said in Love Jones, you know. It's like I didn't know it was for me, but this girl who I like, damn, like she made me feel like I really wanted it.
Yeah.
And like I like her, and I was being a dickhead basically when they had that argument in the library, and he wants to get her back, and you know, that kind of stuff. And so at this point, like it ends off with him essentially confessing that he loves Kiki or he likes Kiki, because Kiki, I mean, they both confess to each other publicly, which is so embarrassing, but we move on.
Yeah, and they're just, oh, there's a song.
You're right.
That's playing. It's D'Angelo's.
Oh my
God. Let Me Get By. I think.
Let Me Get By. That.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, something along those lines. That's playing.
I don't know the song, but.
Girl, me neither. I only know very few D'Angelo songs.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that song is playing, and I guess it's like I think. Oh, he said that song makes him feel like sunshine, and Kiki makes him feel that way.
Yeah.
So there's some sweet stuff that he says in the video, and he talks about like how looking at her feels like a perfect shot. A perfect shot mean like because he's an artist and he's always behind the camera.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Right.
Like y'all, it was. I guess to Adil's point, yeah, it was a little cringy. Anyway, the thing is done.
Think it's a public display of
affection.
It's beyond affection, man.
You're right. It's like, you know, back in the day, not back in the day, but you know they do like those mob dancers and then they ask you to propose.
Yes.
The flash mobs, and then all of a sudden a man wants to propose. No.
That's what it felt like.
In front of these people?
Do you know what it felt like? It felt like, you know, at the end of like a Disney movie or something. Like it's something Troy and Gabriella would do at the end of High School Musical.
Not Troy and Gabriella. You're right. There's something they would do. And also, it's just like, there are other people here. Why is this about y'all?
Honestly, we're at Afro Winter. Imagine me at Afro Winter Fest.
Like, bring out the appetizers. I'm hungry. What idiots.
Like, I know who you are, but what are you doing? Like, can we move on, please? And the thing is, they both accept that what they did was cringe. They're like, oh, we're these people now. And Simi lets them know, she's like, that was gross.
Very gross. Very gross. So yeah, so at this point, the thing is done, and then now they're taking calls from anybody. And so, of course, who is the first caller? It's Kai. So he actually comes up close to the stage, and they start doing their little, like, I guess, inside jokes in front of people, man. Like, again, you're right. This is too much.
Imagine.
Too much. Anyway, after that's all done and they're all giggling and whatever, I think at this point Kiki gets off the stage and now they're having a moment together. So this is essentially their reconciliation moment. And I think Kai goes ahead and admits like, yeah, like I'm feeling you a lot. Like I really think I'm in love with you, like insanely in love with you. Yeah. And that's because he knows, because the other day he burnt plantains while he
Because
was
he was
frying.
thinking
Because
about
he was thinking
her.
about her.
Aww.
My God, that was so sweet of him. Come on. Granted, honestly, you guys, I don't know if anyone has tried to, well, I've done it multiple times, frying plantain. If you blink for a quick
Um,
second,
I don't get it.
your house is on fire.
I don't understand. Like,
Your house is
it'll
on
first of
fire.
all, it'll take a minute for it to heat up.
I
You
know.
flip the other side, and then like sometimes I'll go look at the TV for 3 seconds.
And all of a sudden, brown.
Why? Why are you doing this to me?
Hey, it's very scary.
It
Plantain is like
is.
avocados. You gotta watch them.
Oh
You gotta
yeah.
monitor them. I know they move.
Both delicacies in their
I
own right.
know.
Like, and they move funny. Like, but yeah, it's just the two of them. I was just glad they met. But then what we also learned is that Kai had listened into her whole speech,
Yeah.
so he knew that she loved her too.
Yeah.
Or no, he knew that she loved him too.
Yeah.
He had an AirPod in, but he had to leave because him and his boys exited
Oh yeah, they had to.
because there was a little bit of a squabble outside because the devil is never far.
They're always nearby.
Zachary showed up to Afro Winterfest, not invited. Um, and let's just say the boys took care of it. He had promised Kiki post the Pronto Pick Live, he was not going to do anything to get himself kicked out of school.
Yeah.
However, if I beat your ass outside of school, that does not count because we're off school premises, and Afro Winterfest, Afro Winter Ball was very far from there.
Yeah.
This name has really got us tripped
I
up.
know.
Um,
I kind of like that Bolu did not, because there are many moments, there were that moment at Ty's house when they went to
Yeah.
the state where Malachi could have punched the shit out of Zach.
Absolutely.
But I think it's more of like Kiki said, like, don't do that. And he's more of like, okay, my girl said, like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna handle this in
Yes.
any way. He's very respectful in that sense. He's, I guess, not controllable. Like he can manage his
Yeah,
feelings, his
yeah.
anger, which makes him a very safe person to
To
have
be
in your
around,
life.
exactly.
And I really like that presentation of him. Like, listen, y'all, be like Malachi. Don't be like you. Be like Malachi.
Don't be like you.
So yeah, I think at this point, they're just having a very intimate conversation, and I guess now they're holding each other's hands. He's grabbing the small of her back, and she's grabbing his neck, and it's cute.
Honey and Spice is back on,
Honey
baby.
and thank God, because we were losing hope. But I think like the language that Bolo uses a lot is the butterflies in the stomach.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this too, but at some point after he says that, like, I was thinking about you and that's why I burnt the plantain, she writes here that the butterflies metamorphosize to a bird in paradise.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And I feel like that's just a perfect conclusion of like their love story, because it's always these butterflies coming in, going out. And then like when they had that argument, she felt like they were completely crushed. But then
Yeah.
now that with this reconciliation, they are essentially coming back. The butterflies are still there. But at this point, they have turned into something much bigger. The bird in paradise.
Yeah.
Isn't that? Oof. And like as a person who did a lot of literature in school, the language is what really does it for me. And this writer just 10 out of 10 described it so beautifully for me. And that's it, until I'm just going to go in my room and cry because everybody got somebody.
The part that Hannah never includes is but me. That's what she tried to say.
And I do it on purpose. I don't want y'all to think I'm beg, but like I am.
I
Anyway.
think also, yeah, and in a less poetic form, what made me laugh in the book is Kai saying that Meji actually kicked him out of Sweetest Thing because he said he was bringing down the vibe.
No.
And that he didn't want him there. He
You're
liked
right.
him better when he was with Kiki, so he got to go.
Look at that. Megan's like, please go get that girl back. Like, damn. Why is it overcast all of a sudden? But yeah, and I think actually that doesn't conclude the book.
No.
Because
We get an
Simi
epilogue.
Simi goes back on stage after, Kiki and Malak are doing their thing.
Yeah,
and she says, like, I guess she's like concluding the whole thing. Oh, they're gonna announce like the king and queen of
Yes.
the Afro Bell. The
Afro
struggle.
Winter Ball.
Yo, my tongue can't work no more. Whatever. The ball that they're at, okay? And as she's speaking on stage about to announce it, she's just like, "What is that ruckus going on in the photo booth?" She sends one of her
Her minion.
her minions to go check it out, and then she just like y'all need to do better. Cause Simi comes across as uppity to me.
A little bit.
Just,
Like,
just
she's a little snobbish, yeah.
Yeah, just umpu. Anyway, she says very rudely, like, go check that out. Who's wearing your earrings, girl? Yeah, it's me. You're borrowing
Like, you
them
have
from
to
me.
do that.
So go and check it out. Publicly. Again, you guys don't know. This is a public space. Like, Odile and I are eating our appetizers and you're embarrassing other people? Come on. Anyway.
But she was essentially like, "Yo, this is not your house. Get out of the photo booth.
Yeah.
Take your picture and get out, okay?
You
Take
can
that
take
stuff
black
back
people
to the
nowhere.
dorm."
That's what she's saying. So she goes ahead and announces the Mr. and Mrs. of the ball. And guess who it is?
Kofi and Amina.
Yeah.
Guess who were in
But
the
who was
photo
in the booth? Kofi and
Making
Amina.
out. Kofi and Amina. And you know what? I support it because as long as, they have been my favorite OTP this whole
Yes.
book, my one true pairing. And I'm just glad that they're together.
I feel like for me, the only like criticism I can give this book is I wish there was more dialogue between Amina and Kofi. I would have
Yes.
loved to see that love. Maybe they should do a
side
sequel.
story.
Yeah.
Actually, let's finish and then I have something.
Okay. Anyway, from here, you guys, honestly, this is like the end of the chapters, and we go to an epilogue.
Yeah.
I know Jill, you can take all the way.
So the epilogue, we find out that Simi puts out a message.
Yeah.
No, the other journalist lady puts out a message on her blog.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially saying everything that happened, that Simi did the work. Zach is getting expelled from school. The Whitewell Knights have been disbanded.
God, dude.
The school is investigating all that nonsense that they had been doing, and Kiki's officially running for president of the ACS, as well as there's like two other groups. They have some funny names. I can't lie. Like, I think it was like the Power Boys or something.
Yeah, the Power Boys, and oh my God, like the Kingsford Collective.
Like,
It's
please.
like, are these real groups? Sympathizers? They sound like sympathizers to me. Like, okay.
So that's done, and then Simi does a message of her own, essentially promoting Kiki and telling everybody to check out the show, to go and vote for her, and that she hopes that she won't be as PDA-ish as when she's in office, because apparently her and Malachi have been, they've been macking around campus. That's what we're supposed to get.
Yum.
And then finally, the last bit that we learned is that Kiki gets the scholarship or the internship.
God, she's going to
So
New
she's
York.
going to New York.
Yay! Oh, that was so pleasing to my ear. I
knew
love
she was gonna
that.
get that,
I
though.
absolutely love that. Me and Dr. Miller, proud. So proud. Our girl Kiki has overcome a lot. You know what I mean?
know.
A lot of internal growth has happened. And yeah, that concludes the book.
Honey and
So
Spice.
bittersweet, man.
I know. I'm genuinely gonna miss the two of them. Like, I might find myself rereading some parts.
Which parts?
The good fluffy parts.
Right.
Because I'm a good girl. Okay.
Of course. No denying that. So remember in the beginning when we started this series on Honey and Spice, I said I would love to see this in a TV series or a movie.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Oh, right. I think it would be cute for, like an ABC Family, ABC Sparks.
Yeah.
A little Netflix.
I think it should go on the Oprah Winfrey show.
No.
Not show, but O channel.
No. Absolutely not.
Maybe Tyler Perry should really take this script.
Absolutely not.
The way he would butcher it.
Please.
Like, anyway.
We'd see Zach in the worst 3A wig that you could find on the
3A wig.
Little
God,
curly.
Tyler Perry.
A
Save
little,
us. Yeah.
No.
All seriousness, I would love to see this in motion picture.
Okay,
for sure.
out of 5,
yeah.
what do you give the book?
Out of 5, I'm gonna give you a 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Too high?
That's your rating.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at your face. I'm trying to read it. What are you giving the book?
I think I'm gonna give it a 4.2.
Okay.
I just add an extra 2 right now.
Yeah, so you were gonna give it a 4 initially.
I was gonna give it a 4.
I was gonna give it a 4 initially, but I said let me give it 4.5 because I don't know what Adele's gonna get. You see how we think? We're very sick. We're sheeple. That's what we are. Great book. Language was powerful.
Yes.
The storyline was very clear. It didn't, I think it kept me on my feet a little bit because I was
Yes.
waiting for the conflict because obviously we know with any relationship or start a relationship, there's going to be conflict. And in my head, I was thinking like, is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? I wasn't expecting it to be the whole like library scene over like the whole Zach and fake boyfriend comment. But loved the book. I think honestly, it's nice to see Nigerian or African writers just really grow. This is her, I guess, like her second book because Love in Color was
Yeah, and I
Bola's
don't know if
first.
you read the
I
acknowledgments.
did. Do you wanna talk about
Okay,
that?
so she, I
Yeah.
wanted to do it justice.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, to the way that she describes it is like, so in Yoruba culture, when you have twins, their two names, you give them Kehinde and Taiwo.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Kehinde is technically the spiritual first child. But Taiwo comes out first.
Yeah.
So that is the name of the child that's born first, but he's actually in the spirit world, he's like the second. He goes out to see the world to make sure that it's okay before he calls his twin to come out.
Yeah.
And for her, her first book, Love in Color, which is an anthology of short stories,
Mm-hmm.
is her Kehinde. Or no, it's her Taiwo. She put that out first, but she's been writing Honey and Spice for a very, very long time. She put it on the shelf for a little bit to do Love in Color, and Love in Color gave her the space to say, okay, I can put this out. And that was just, oh, that was so sweet.
Honestly, when I read that, that's the only part of the acknowledgments I read. I said that is a perfect illustration of your mentality when it comes to your writing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just close the book just like this. We're done here.
So you didn't see the part where she thanked Beyonce?
But she wrote her master dissertation on Beyonce. So I already
Right.
knew that. So she's a Beyonce logistic.
We can just say it. She's a Beehive stan, okay?
And that is why I love her because I too am a beehive. Well, no, I'm a reformed
No, there's
beehive,
nothing reformed about you.
recovering
You've been recovering for years.
yeah, that's who I am. I'm the reformed. um yeah, I think that's overall. I love the book. I loved reading it with you, Adelia. I
Yeah.
think this being our first book for the podcast, I think it's just a perfect opener to like what's next. So, do you want to share with the viewers what's next?
I do. And actually, before I share, there's actually going to be a sequel to Honey and Spice.
What? Who
Yeah, I
said?
purposely didn't tell you this whole time I knew.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
When
Next
was it
year.
announced?
I don't, last year.
Oh, okay. See, I don't Google that deep. So,
I
okay,
had to
cool.
Google. I don't remember why I Googled the book, but I was like, let me Google.
That's so exciting. Well, you know what? We might have to
Okay,
do the
but
review of that one as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So do you want to hear? So it's going to be called Sun Under Skin.
God. Sun under
But you're
skin.
gonna be a little upset, guys, because I was upset when I read it. So essentially, it's a few years in the future. They're adults now, which I think is great because it'll give like the actual novel a different like
Yeah,
vibe.
setting. Mm-hmm.
And Bolu herself says it also gives her time to grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's in the future, at this point, Kiki is like an established podcaster, is
Mm-hmm.
successful. She is not with
Chanel
Kai.
Kai, great. All right, so what are we reading next?
So what happens is her best friend Amina's getting married to Kofi.
Oh, you know what? I did say earlier that I wanted to see them more,
Exactly,
so that's fine
yeah.
with me.
So of course you have to come together, and of course it's her best friend, and who's Kofi's friend.
Oh,
So we're gonna see. So we
a
go
rediscovery of
exactly
love.
second chance at love.
Second chance at love. Love it.
I'm
Okay.
excited, but I know it's gonna annoy me so bad.
Listen, it's
I
all right,
hate
Julia.
second chance at
We'll
love.
be annoyed together.
No, because she's gonna be like, well, you did this and you did this, and I'm gonna be like, but just kiss him,
Wow.
okay? I've already forgiven him.
That is so simple.
I
They need to
have
be complications.
preemptively forgiven him. I'm not read a single
Preemptively.
word of
What if he
Sun
did something
Understand.
so horrendous?
I don't think he did.
Okay, we got this. We got
He's
this
never
recording.
done anything wrong in his life.
Sure. Okay, we got this recording. I'm gonna play it back for you.
He's never done anything. I'm sorry.
Okay, great. This is what I say, girls. When you are in it, you're really in it. You're not thinking.
Sorry, I love Kai. Like
I too love Kai, but he might make some mistakes, and I will, I'll be there to tell you made the mistake.
I will not be there. No matter what, I will not be there.
I'm gonna stick beside him.
I'm stick beside him. That's my man.
Okay, I guess
But
in terms of
anyway,
thinking of that trope of second chances in love, our next book.
is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, which I actually found out today is being shopped around to become a TV show, funny enough.
Listen, this is
So,
perfect then. So I can give my honest opinion on whether this should be a motion picture or not. Not that it matters,
exactly.
but you know.
We need the Hana stamp of approval.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so it's a book about a mother, a young mother who meets a guy,
Mm-hmm.
being as vague as possible, and she it's her it is what it is her second chance at possibly finding love again and seeing where that takes you. And I know the girls have been really excited about it online, so
Yeah.
I know very little about the book. I'm excited to get into it. I'm getting a little period to separate myself from Kai and
Aw.
Kiki,
Yeah.
keep all the good memories, so by the time 2024 rolls around and they're not together, I can hold on to that. Um, but I'm ready to get into whatever Tia Williams has for us.
I am as well. I do like the whole reconnecting love kind of thing. Because I don't, is it similar to like the one that got away? Is that a similar concept?
No, I think it's like a well, it could be, but I think
Mm-hmm.
from what I understand from the synopsis when I read was she meets a new person. And like
Mm-hmm.
when you've loved before and it's been
Yeah.
big and grandiose and that doesn't work out and you don't think that you're ever going to experience that again. I think this is like, okay, well, there could be something else here.
Okay. And I'm assuming the 7 days is like we're gonna go through each day of them reconnecting back with their love.
Let's save it for next week.
Okay. On that note, y'all, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned next week for our new book in that case.
Yes. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Romantically Lit. We'll be posting, if you forget, you can come back to the episode or go onto our Instagram and we'll tell you what book we're reading next.
Exactly. And tell
Um,
us what you think about Honey and Spice. I
yes.
want to get your opinion because everyone's opinion, anyone who's listening, because I want to see if y'all's align with mine or you disagree with me. I'm pretty sure you
Um,
agree with me, but you know, let me know.
let us know if you think it should be made into a TV show.
The answer is yes.
All right. Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.